Hey, Bruce, how you doing? Underachiever and Eddie Javier. Oh, good. Uh, I've got I hope everything's going to work out today. One of the problems of having a quote, live demonstration with something like removing a stem from your watch. Now, let me explain quickly here why you're going to want to do this. I'm going to see if I'm going to have to work it on my workbench. But essentially, here's your case, and here's um, your crown, and then your stem goes into what is called the keyless works inside of your watch. And in order to uh, put a movement into the case or take it out, you have to remove the stem, which acts like a little, oh, I don't know, almost like a lock, I guess. Okay, so here's what I did. I hope this helps. I put a couple of the pictures up on the High Horology Lounge. You can take a look at those. The other thing I did, I took pictures, and so this, I'm hoping that these will, you guys can see these a lot better. I enlarged them. Here's the first one. Up at the top there, that's supposed to be a red band around a screwdriver. Uh, so instead of hot pink, that was the color of my stickum that I had. And then below there, you can see the crown, and then you see two geared wheels. The larger of the two is the barrel, and the smaller of the two is the winding gear. Okay. Now, right above the winding gear, with that, my big pink arrow, is what is the screw that you tighten or loosen to pull out the crown. And what I did ahead of time, I pulled out the crown naturally, make sure everything was working. And there's a little more of a close-up of that screw, and you can see that the stem has been pulled out of the crown. Now, I put it back in so I can show you how it works. My glasses keep getting pulled down because of the weight of the eyepiece. Okie doke, let's see. Let me welcome everybody. Hello, Joseph, and Rohit, and Paul, and Junior, and Eric, and Stefan, Thomas, NS something, Flippin' Zippo, 90 Nuts. Hi, how you doing, Tom? Again. Okay, Mark, Jay, how you doing, man? Okay, let's so let's see what's involved here. The first thing, in terms of, we talked about how to take the back off before. Your screwdrivers will have a little red band or a different colored band, or the top of them will be a different color. Now, there's more or less a standard color coding. If you get some sets, the colors may be different sizes and so forth. But when you're working on a watch, you've got to be able to, look at you can't, the tips of these things are like really small. All right. That's closer than you'll usually get. And so it's a lot easier to pick the right screwdriver if you have the color of the band that you pick. And there's another thing that I was taught in my watchmaking courses, is that you want to have the head of the screwdriver at the same size as the head of the screw. You don't want to have it too big or too small, because it can mess it up. And once messed up, you're in trouble. So the course that I had, the one that the Horological Society of New York had, they had this weekend course. We had the red one, the blue one, and the green one. And the red one was the smallest. And as you saw, this that screw that we're going to be turning, and then you can see to the left and the right of the screw some other screws, and see they're much they're a bigger size. And so you'd use the green or blue screwdriver on those. Now you can get a whole set of them, like of screwdrivers, but if you get them, be sure to get ones with the standard color coding on it, because some of them don't have it. Okay, let's see. What are you guys talking about? 3 millimeters is my blind guess. Okay. Yeah, right. Looking like a pro. Uh, don't let me confuse you. I think the other day I had my beanie on. This is my work beanie because with either my beret or one of my Bill's caps, got in the way of the light. And boy, I tell you, you really need good light. Hi, Sam. Williams Watches. How you guys doing? Okay. All right. So you guys ready to get started? You have all of you have a screwdriver and your magic decoding ring, and we'll see if we can get this done. Hey, Mark. Anyway, oh my goodness. Oh, good. You posted your quarantine wrist shot. By the way, Stu, we're still having that contest. Remember, we're make a wrist shot of your watch, put it up on High Horology Lounge, and something having to do with quarantine. Okay, I've seen a lot of really funny quarantine stuff that's been happening, so we might as well have a little fun with it, and you can win a watch. Okay, it is something. All right, well, let me see if I can do this so you can see it. Let me turn this a little. Okay, there's my workbench. And what I'll do, I have two lights that I use because you want to have a really well balanced light. Boy, now I really lit up. Now here on this one, I have the back loosened and everything, and so I cleaned up things. So I'll take this off. That's the back, and put it here. You want to, and then this thing right here, I'll move up. This isn't always the easiest, and pull this out. And you want to be able to get right over it. I have these little white pieces of paper, and what you can do is make sure that you got it on a clean spot, and if something hops out, you can fix that. So what I'll do now, by the way, too, when you hold it, this was, I told, the only way to hold it. Now, that's not totally true. Sometimes you've got to, if you have something that's sort of hard to undo, you've got to do it like that. But by and large, these have swivel, the screwdrivers have swivel tops. So you just put your finger like that and work it out. Okay, so let me see if I can get this now. Put down my eyepiece. And okay, what you want to do, you don't want to turn it too much. You want to turn a little and then see if it'll jiggle out. Yep, I sort of knew where to turn it. So now I've got my, this is the stem, and it's out. Now the movement, this isn't secured, and so it'll come right out. So now I have there's my movement, and the reason I'm able to get it out of the case is because there's no, I don't have any securing screws there. Okay, well, I mean, that's sort of the first step. And let me put this back. What I did, this is my old computer table, and I cut a groove in it and stuff, and so I can slide things in and out. So you can see it's not that hard of an operation, and you only use one screw, And so put these both up here. There's the screw that use a redneck screwdriver, and I don't know what that would be. Redneck screwdriver. It might be a hammer. Anyway, and then you gently pull it out. And now what I'll do is I'll put it back in. By the way, too, over here, I'm going to put the crown. You want to have some little kind of container there for you, so you can. I'm going to take this off this thing, otherwise my glasses will keep getting dragged down. Okay, doke. My watchmaking beanie. All right, let me put this back here. All right, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I put these pictures up in living color on. These are simply laser printouts that I had, and how to do it. So clean it up real good. Let me see. You don't spray the whole thing down with brake clean first. Well, flip and Zippo, I tell you, there are a lot of things. I should have had my finger cots on and some other things. You're right about that. You want to keep it nice and clear and everything like that. Okay. Eddie, you can't get over the quartz. The $141,000 watch with a quartz movement. Eddie, you got to take a look at some of all of the real expensive watches, especially women's watches that are basically a pile of jewelry. They don't seem to worry too much about the movement. Let's see. A Hexenmeister, left-handed, Burnham on. Yeah, right. Being a lefty. I'm also left-eyed too, so I have to put that there. All right. Okay, what's going on? So let's see. The JLC 101 equipped watches are the ultimate ladies jewelry watches. All right. They make a ladies reversal with a 101 movement in it, floating in the case. Yeah, if you want to see some amazing women's movements or watches with women's watches with amazing movements in them, take a look at the Grand Prix. The ones by Ann Arpels. What's something in Arpels? I keep forgetting the name of them, but they got this wonderful these watches, and then they'll have these movements. They had this one with a what is it? A peacock's tail that was a different time, amazing, and it was Arpel or somebody in Arpel. I keep forgetting the name. Anyway, Van Cleef. That's it. Van Cleef and Arpel. Thank you, guys. And the movements are made by Agenor. So you get some of the best movements you can find are in these, and the prices are insanely high on these. The JLC 101 caliber is the smallest mechanical movement and volume. They make for amazing watches. Yeah, I've got one in my Vacheron Constantin 1972. There's a very small Frederick Piguet movement that at one time was the smallest movement. I think that that mechanical movement that they had. But with most women's watches, they put in, and with the smaller ones, they put in the quartz because they can do more things with that, I guess. Okay, let's see. The MB&F ladies line is amazing as well. Yeah, there's trying to think. Bulgari. Oh my God, some of the Bulgari women's movements. Those things are really amazing. They're big on this snake. Bulgari's got this snake on these women's watches, and opens his mouth, and there's the dial. I mean, they're just, and of course, it's full of diamonds and emeralds and rubies and sapphires. So, okay, so what's hey, Mark. Okay, I think movement is too small for the case. Maybe that could be true. Um, all right, even those reversals were a tribute to the movement. The reversal case basically acted as a display case for it. All right, well, did you guys, did anybody get an old watch or have an old watch that you want to take apart and go through this sort of taking it apart? Because now that we got the stem out, what I've got to do, I don't know if they have these sort of are like little, that's a little vise for especially designed for watch cases. And these, I don't know if I have another one. I don't think so. And so I'm going to have to put this guy somewhere safe, and then we'll put it together. Put after we take a watch apart and put it back together again. These things can be tricky too. They're supposed to sort of lie in there nice and even. There we go. And so that's not even. I'll have to fix it later. Anyway, you have, we'll put that up there. So the next thing we'll do is we'll take off the hands. And to do that, you use hand removal tools. And I've got a couple here. There are two basic hand removal tools. This one right here, what you do with it is you put it over the hand and sort of slip it under there, and then you close it like this. And it also has a, well, you can see it in the middle there. It just sort of grabs it like that. I don't like using this. This is a pain in the neck to use. The one I like is uses a lever, and it looks like it's a pretty simple one. If you can put it right there, it's got like a little hook on it. And what you do is you slip this underneath the hand, and then you just push it like that. Now, when you do that, they have these special little tabs, these little plastic tabs, and you put it under here so you don't hurt the dial. I just cut them out. I'll take an old plastic bag and, a little watch bag or something, and cut it into a form and slip that in there, and that works perfectly well. But the other ones are, if you want one that's measured, but I like using these a lot more than this kind of hand remover. Maybe it's because I think you have to be a little more coordinated to use one of these and pick it up. But to me, there's just more chance of scratching it and so on and so forth. So, all right. Okay. Yeah. Eddie, I don't think that's a real good idea. That would be fun, but oh man, you have to get it to Art somehow. By the way, have you contacted Art about passing it on to him, or is it just going to be something in the mail or something like that in the next watch trial? Okay, so what do you guys think so far? Is this worth pursuing or not? Just flip the back of a Orient Bambino. That went easily. Now I'll dismantle it to atoms. Hey, Fahrenheit. Some of these watches, I mean, they're a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot cheaper to take an inexpensive watch or just buy the watch parts and take it apart and put it back together, and take it apart and put it back together. That's what, it's like the more times you do that, you really get to know that movement. And this is why watchmakers love ETAs, because it's the most common movement for that they're used to working on. and they can get the parts for it, and so it makes life a lot easier. On the other hand, you have a watch like, oh, take the Lang and Heim that I have. I have no idea about getting spare parts for that. It took me a year to just to get these bars that they have. They have these screw-in bars for the lugs. Uh, I think that has something to do with a traditional kind of watch. You can see here, see those screws? I don't know if you can see them or not in the light, but they have little screws there. And so you have to hold one end and then you unscrew it with the other end. And anything it takes any amount of coordination, I have uh, creative times with. Okay, let's see. Okay, good, Eddie. Yeah, we're getting there pretty quick. So, all right. Hey, has anything new happened that's in terms of watches or watch buys? By the way, too, well, I better shut up for a second, but I got a whole set of watches that somebody wants to sell. It's an AD and it has some pretty good discounts. I'm going to try to. I'll put them up on my on the High Horology Lounge, and just put them up there. And if somebody's interested, I'll see about getting them for them. That's sort of a whole other operation. But there are some very nice watches. But the prices they're all new, and then, like I said, they're from an AD. So we'll take a look at those. What brands? Right now, I'm looking at some Parmigianis, and but they're really nice ones. There's some of the newer ones, which is interesting. One of my favorite is that 1950, and I have some other ones. Flippin', I'll put them up on High Horology Lounge. You can take a look at them there. Any Mosers? Possibly. Okay, possibly, Mark. And this would be from an AD. So that gets sort of tricky because you don't want to get there's right now things are rough all over for everybody, and so there may be some excellent deals, Mark. Tonda 1950 are awesome watches. Yes, they are. That's yeah, they have one here that is at a pretty good price. But anyway, what is High Horology Lounge? Junior is simply the name of a Facebook page. It's a Facebook page that I use. Hang on a second, let me see. The other day I sent Mark the URL for it, but he never showed up, and so he's. Hang on one second. I'll send you the address for it. That's the one that we're also using for for our contest, for our watch contest. Okie doke. Hang on a second. Here it is. Copy. You get it in a bunch of code. So I'll send you the code. This is the code that I had for it. So you can give it a shot and see if you can show up there. Some people that use YouTube a lot don't use Facebook, and they have good reasons not to. They don't want to be. They just have reasons not to. I can't fault them on that. But if you are, that's sort of it's sort of an outlet that we can use. Okay. Oh, you are there, Mark? I didn't see you show up. Oh, good. Well, that's good to see. Now, you sure it's the High Horology Lounge, right, Mark? Okay, that's good. Okay, Flippin' Zippo just applied. Name's Chris. Yeah, maybe, somebody comes up under other names. Understood. Okay, well, I'll take care of everyone. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do that while we're talking here. Yep. Let me see. Okie doke, okie doke. Okay, Junior, you're all set. Okay. All you post things, you just, I guess, put them in that top box, and that's it. Um, yeah. I flipping Zippo. I know. I have, and it's hard not to let it go that way. Believe me, there's all kinds of characters that come out of the woodwork. Really amazing. So if that's why I said that if it's something that you don't like, um, it can be problematic. Mark, I'll take a look after we're finished here and see, and if I can text you via Facebook, then it shouldn't be a problem. Remember High Horology Forum? Yeah, that was before those idiots started doing all kinds of things, and I thought it'd be better to eliminate them all and start over, and so I did. And I'm glad I did too. It's been a long haul. That thing was pretty big. This one is, we're almost at 5,000 at High Horology Lounge and stuff. My grandkids put me on Facebook. I've never looked at it. Yeah, the kids will help you out. If I got these grandkids the same way, man. They know stuff that how to do this and how to do that. One of the things, people say, "Wow, you ought to know that. Used to be a programmer." It's got nothing to do with it, because when you're writing programs and running a program are two different things, because it depends on the interface and all kinds of other stuff that somebody makes. And some of them, they're just sort of going down a different logic path than you might be used to or you want to. It's one of the few groups that has good, clean, interesting content. Yeah, that's we're trying to. That's what we're trying to do. Here's the big thing about it. I don't want to sound like somebody who's a snob or some goody two shoes or anything like that. But in order to have communication, you got to take out a lot of you got to say, look, don't do this, because we're trying to communicate here. This is why somebody puts like those big animated GIFs in or something like that, and they're bouncing around, and you're trying to follow some kind of logic or some kind of discussion, or some guy gets in there and he talks like he's just learned how to cuss in junior high school or something. It just gets in the way more than anything else. Let's see what else is up. We'll try to behave ourselves in a lounge, Mark. It's what I mean by that is so we can discuss things. It's sort of like when adults are talking and some little kid comes up and grabs you by the pant leg and says, "Hey, you want something?" It sort of takes away from that. Oh, good. Okay, Sam, good. Well, anyway, here's what all you got to do is you simply take a picture, use the tagline, quarantine wrist shot. Okay, take a wrist shot of something you're doing during the quarantine. I got this wonderful, so it was a comment on the YouTube, and it was from Howard, and he was talking about what they're doing for golf. They jammed up the hole so you can only come close to it, and that's so that somebody doesn't go down and use their hands to pick out and then leave all kinds of bugs in the golf ball hole, and only one person to a golf cart. Really, very interesting kind of stuff that's going on. I was happy when they came out with color TV. Yeah, I was happy when they came out with black and white TV. It was you hear so all we got was shadow puppets on the wall. Okay, let's see. Okie doke. Let's see. Are multiple entries accepted? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can put in as many as you want, Eddie. Um, what was some things that I've seen? Some people are sort of going crazy at home. I think that's one thing. Me, I'm just trying to sort of. I figure this is one of the things I could do. I'll do a watch project, taking that watch apart and then putting it back together. That'll be, sort of a fun thing to do. We were talking about women's watches earlier. Have you seen Vacheron Constantine's new e-jewelry collection? I don't think so. I'll take a look at those. Yeah, yeah, okay. Does it have to be high horology watch? No, Mark. It can be any watch. We sort of here's what we try to do at High Horology Lounge. First of all, we're trying to redefine high horology for what it means to a user. Now, if somebody puts a bunch of you know junk watches up, that's not what it's for. Uh, we sort of have strong horology. These are companies that make their own movements and sort of that and above. But there are exceptions. Some companies like let's say Hermes. Hermes owns 25% of Vaucher. You have a Hermes with a Vaucher movement, yeah, and plus the fact that they pay a lot of attention to their watches. There's some other ones too that actually have ETAs in them, but they've been the enlage and the finishing and all kinds of other things that they do to them. They sort of transform them into some extremely interesting horology. A lot of this stuff is from the Germans, some certain German ones. So a lot of stuff like that. Okay, doke. All right. Well, look, guys. Then I guess tomorrow we'll start with taking the hands off. And we were just looking at the tools that you'll need. Now, I don't expect anybody to run out and get anything. You won't have time to order one, but we'll take a look and see how you work them. So later on, if you said, hey, that's something that I might want to do, and so I'll get one of these tools. This one, I think I got free. Not free, but there was one or two tools I wanted, and then they threw this one in with it. So it's not one that I went out to get. And this one right here, I got for something entirely different and didn't realize was a hand remover. It turned out to be really a great one. I mean, that's what it was designed to be. Okay, take care, everybody, and hope to see you tomorrow.